you're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
KTM rider Brad Binder admitted that he was amazed and did not expect to see the extraordinary performance shown by his former teammate, Jack Miller, when appearing with Pramac Yamaha at the COTA Circuit of the Americas. Binder even said he was shocked to see Miller's speed and racing style, which was so aggressive but still controlled. I was really amazed. Jack is very fast, and his racing style amazing. It's like seeing a new version of him, said Binder after the race. According to Binder, Jack Miller's changes since joining Pramac Yamaha are very pronounced. He seems more comfortable, more confident, and able to execute the difficult corners at COTA with great precision. Something that, according to Binder, was not very visible when Miller was still under the auspices of the KTM team. When he was at KTM, he was fast, but now it's different. More mature, more aggressive, but still calm. I was shocked to see him overtake two riders in a sharp corner so smoothly. This is not the Jack Miller I used to know, I added Binder with a smile. And here's the full news. Circuit of the Americas, COTA, is again a stage for exciting drama in the world of MotoGP. The race, which always offers challenging corners and technical tracks, is known as one of the circuits that tests the mental and technical abilities of the riders as a whole. However, of all the stunning action that took place last weekend, one name that really caught the eye was Jack Miller. Not only fans were mesmerized by the Australian's performance, even fellow MotoGP riders couldn't hide their admiration. Brad Binder, the flagship rider of the KTM factory team and Miller's former teammate, honestly admitted that he did not expect Miller to be that impressive. In fact, Binder said that he was shocked to see Miller's speed and racing style, which was so explosive and mature. I was really amazed. Jack performed amazingly at COTA. I didn't expect him to be that fast, especially with a racing style that is so aggressive but still precise. He makes all maneuvers look easy, even though COTA is not a track that can be mastered carelessly, Binder said in a post-race interview. Jack Miller, from KTM to Pramac Yamaha, a shocking transformation. Jack Miller is not a new name in the MotoGP paddock. He is known as a talented rider with a bold racing style, typical of a true Aussie. However, when he was still in the KTM uniform, Miller's performance was often up and down. Although he stole the show several times with his speed in practice or qualifying sessions, his consistency on race day was often a weak point. But everything changed when Miller started a new chapter in his career with Pramac Yamaha. This team move had raised a big question: could Miller immediately adapt to the character of the Yamaha engine, which is known to be more smooth than the aggressive KTM? That question has now been answered very clearly. Miller didn't just adapt, he thrived. At COTA, the number 43 showed that he is now a serious threat to anyone on the MotoGP grid. Jack's change is very pronounced. When he was at KTM, he was fast, but still a bit wild. Now he is much calmer but still ferocious. That combination makes him very dangerous on the track, it continued Binder. Spectacular performance at COTA, maximum speed, sharpness and control. COTA is a circuit with 20 corners, changing elevations and long straights that force riders to be smart in choosing their momentum and braking points. This is where Jack Miller really shines. Several times Miller overtook his opponents in tight corners, including crazy maneuvers at turns 11 and 15 that made the audience in the stands cheer. Not only fast, Miller also performed with almost perfect control. He was able to keep the bike stable in the most technical sectors, while still maintaining high speeds on the straights. Binder, who had a direct duel with Miller in the first few laps, admitted that he had difficulty matching the speed and stability of Miller's Yamaha motorbike. I tried to stick with him for a few laps, but he was too fast at the exit of the corner. I know Jack has big guts, but this time he also has extraordinary motor control and feeling. That's a very dangerous combination, said Binder. Not just hockey, Jack Miller ready to enter the list of serious contenders. What Jack Miller showed at COTA was not just luck or a one-off performance. It was a strong signal that Miller has reached a new maturity point in his career. He is no longer just a sometimes fast rider, but a serious contender ready to undermine the dominance of big names like Bagnaia, Martin, and Marc Marquez. Binder did not hesitate to say that Miller is now much more difficult to beat than when he was with KTM. In the past we fought quite evenly, now he can easily open the distance. That shows tremendous improvement. I'm happy for Jack personally, but as a rival, obviously this makes the competition tougher, he said with a chuckle. New season, new Miller. With a performance like this, it's no wonder that Jack Miller's name is starting to be counted as a strong candidate for the podium or even a title challenger. Pramac Yamaha seems to have provided the ideal space for Miller to develop and fully express his racing style. The combination of experience, aggressive Australian spirit, and a Yamaha engine that has proven to be competitive is Miller's main weapon this season. And if COTA is just the beginning, then the following circuits could set the stage for something even bigger. Brad Binder summed up with a single sentence that represents what many of the other riders on the grid are probably feeling. This Jack, he's no longer the Jack we knew. He's faster, smarter, and more dangerous than ever. Pramac Yamaha team rider Jack Miller recently divulged several weaknesses which he said were the main cause of the Yamaha bike's performance decline in the last two MotoGP series, namely in the Thailand and Argentina MotoGP. In an exclusive interview with a number of media, Miller explained that the biggest problem faced by Yamaha in both series lies in the electronic sector of the motorbike, which affects the stability and performance of the engine during the race. Miller, who is known as a rider with extensive experience in the MotoGP event, revealed that although overall the Yamaha bike has the potential to compete at the top level, the electronics are a weak point that greatly hampers performance. We all know that Yamaha has the potential for a good engine. But in the last two series, namely in Thailand and Argentina, we had serious problems in the electronics sector. That really affects the bike's ability to work optimally, and in the end, affects lap times and endurance in the race, Miller said. The electronic problems referred to by Miller include unstable power control system settings and engine management, which caused the bike to struggle with changing track conditions. This became even more apparent in the Thai MotoGP, where the track's high temperatures and high humidity made the electronics work harder than usual. A similar situation occurred in Argentina, where changes in temperature and circuit conditions caused the bike to struggle to optimize its acceleration and stability. Miller also explained that these electronic issues made power control less precise, which resulted in a drop in performance in certain sectors of the track. On certain circuits, especially in Thailand and Argentina, we felt an inconsistent drop in power. Sometimes the bike felt very fast, but on the other hand, it also felt very slow, as if it was losing power. It all has to do with the electronic settings and how the bike responds to the input from the throttle, he added. For a rider like Miller, who relies on speed and precision in every lap, this problem is clearly disturbing. Although the Yamaha team has worked hard to make improvements, Miller emphasized that without significant improvements to the bike's electronic system, they will continue to be left behind in the fierce competition that occurs in each series. We are working hard to maximize the potential of the bike, but if these electronic problems continue to occur, we will find it difficult to compete at the highest level. It's not just about speed, but also about stability and consistency throughout the race, he explained. The electronic system Miller is referring to includes not only power management, but also interaction with other systems, such as traction settings and acceleration control, which are crucial at some points on the track. In MotoGP, where every second and every component of the bike can determine victory or defeat, the slightest problem can have a major effect on the final result. Despite this, Miller does not entirely blame the electronics as the main cause of their defeat. He also recognizes that every team in MotoGP has their own challenges, and every rider and bike engineer must work together to find the best solution. We have to be more creative and work more closely with the technical team. I'm sure with a strong team, we will be able to fix this problem, he said optimistically. For Yamaha, this criticism is certainly an important evaluation material. So far, Yamaha is known as one of the most experienced teams and its technology is highly regarded in MotoGP. However, with the increasingly fierce competition and rapid technological developments, they must be more responsive in responding to problems such as those expressed by Jack Miller. Delays in the electronic sector, if left unchecked, could affect their position in the race for the world title in the coming seasons. Miller himself added that he hopes the Yamaha team can immediately implement updates to the bike's electronic system in order to compete at the highest level again. We have great potential, both in terms of riders and bikes. What we need is an improvement in the electronic sector. Once we can solve this problem, I'm sure Yamaha will return to winning ways, Miller concluded hopefully. With two disappointing series in Thailand and Argentina, Yamaha must now face a big challenge to fix the weaknesses and prepare more carefully for the next series. All eyes are now on Yamaha's technical team to provide the updates needed so that their riders, like Jack Miller, can get back to competing optimally in the rest of the increasingly heated MotoGP season.
Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby, came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on her tight frame. All game, no shame, baby, came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.